Hello, how are you? So who's there? I can see I I can't see who's there. Who's there? Can you send a message on the chat if you are there? Anybody? Just send me a message to say hi, hello. Hi everybody. Okay, here, so I can see you. So Juan's there. Anybody else is there? I think I'll send the link to the other people to remind them about this. Just send the link again so people can see that. Okay, just sent now. All right, so I guess we can start. Um, so first, this is a quiz, right? And this quiz is about grammar. So our first live chat here will be about this grammar topic. Let me show you the first one so you know what I'm talking about. Hmm, I'm just going to share the screen now with you. I think you can probably see the screen now. Just a minute. Let me do something. Let me change this to. Uh, Let me change this to the entire screen here. Right. So I think. And I'll check. I'll check the messages here. Great. Okay. Right. So now, yeah. So as you can see here, it says grammar quiz, right? So grammar quiz one. We're going to see several sentences there. And all you have to do is tell me whether they're correct or wrong, right? Are they right or are they wrong? What do you think? And consider the grammar there, okay? So let's take a look at the first one. Here, the sentence is I've been working here for 3 years, right? What do you think? Do you think this is correct or wrong? So you can tell me your opinion in the live chat. So I'll wait for your answer there. Is it right or is it wrong? I've been working here for 3 years. Is the grammar correct or not? So if you think it's right, you just write right or correct. If you think this is wrong, you write wrong. Wrong. So you think this is wrong. I've been working here for 3 years. So let's check it. Actually, this is correct. So this is actually correct. I've been working here for 3 years. It means that I started working in this place. We don't know where it is. It says here, it could be any place. And this person has been working there for all this time for 3 years, right? So the grammar structure here is correct. So I have, this is the contracted form of have, right? So I have been working here for 3 years. And when we say working here with ing, it means that the action is probably going to continue into the future, right? So I've been working for 3 years, and I'll probably continue working there for longer, right? We don't know how long, but so that's the idea here. I started doing something in the past, I still do it now, and I'll probably continue doing it into the future. So this is the present perfect continuous, right? I've been working, I've been doing, I've been playing, whatever verb you want to use it. So the first one is correct. Let's take a look at the second one. I've been to the supermarket yesterday. How about this one? Do you think it's right or wrong? I've been to the supermarket yesterday. Right or wrong? Any ideas? Anybody? You think this one is right or wrong? I've been to the supermarket yesterday. Take a look at the yesterday here, okay? Any ideas? Right or wrong? I've been to the supermarket yesterday. This one is actually wrong here. I've been to the super because here it says yesterday, right? So when you say yesterday, we have to use the verb in the past simple, not the present perfect like this one here, right? I've been here. This is present perfect, right? So the verb has to be in the past simple. And that was here. What is the past simple of the verb to be? The past simple of the verb to be. You can say was or were, right? In this case, it should be I should be was, right? And in this case, we're considering going to the supermarket. So there's another way you can say that. It is I went to the supermarket yesterday. So you could say I was in the supermarket yesterday, or I went to the supermarket yesterday. Right? Went here is the past simple of the verb to go, right? So I went. I go in the present, in the past, I went. All right. So let's see the next one. I went to school last Friday. This one looks easier, right? I went to school last Friday. Is it right or wrong? What do you think? I went to school last Friday. Is it correct or is it wrong? This one is actually correct, right? Just like what we talked about before. The past of go is just went, and here we are specifying the time in the past. It was last Friday. So I went to school last Friday. This is correct. Just simple past. Okay, went, the past of the verb to go. Let's see number 4 here. It says, I've never been to Tokyo. I've never been to Tokyo. Is it right or is it wrong? What do you think here? The clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. 5, 4, 3. Okay, it was. So I was. No. This I've never been. This one is actually correct here. This one is correct. I've never been to Tokyo in my whole life. I've never been to Tokyo. I've never been there. I never went there. So that's the idea here. When it says I've never been there, the meaning here is that I was never there, right? I was never there. So I've never been to Tokyo. So present perfect. So this one is correct. But if here you had the word, for example, last Friday, last Tuesday, yesterday, then in that case, it would be was, right? So that would be different. But here it doesn't say when exactly it was. It doesn't say the time, if it was yesterday or 10 years ago. It doesn't say when. So when it doesn't say when, you can actually say, I've never been to, or I've been to, if the sentence is affirmative, right? So this one is negative, so we say never here. So I've never been to Tokyo, it's correct. Let's see number 5. She has a nice dress. She has a nice dress. Is it right or wrong? This is correct. Very good. Yeah, that's correct. It's a more simple one here. So she has, right, in the present simple here, right? Remember, I have, you have, right? But for he, she, and it, we say has. So I have, you have. She has, he has, it has, right? So this is correct, and the sentence is in the present simple. This one is not in the past. This one is in the present simple. Now, the next one, number 6. His drink milk now. What do you think? His drink milk now. Is it right or is it wrong? Drink milk now. Correct or wrong? Correct. Is it correct? Are you sure? Actually, think about it. Here it says now, right? Now. So here we have to talk about the present continuous. It's something we are doing now, right? So this is wrong. The correct form is he's drinking milk now, right? Because you're talking about now, we have to add ing to the verb here. So he's drinking milk now. I am, if I ask you, for example, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? Now I am drinking water. So I am drinking water now, right? What am I doing now? I am combing my hair. Okay? I am combing my hair. And so on. Right? It's something that you are doing now. It's something you started in the past, but you are still doing right now at this moment. So you use ing after the verb, right? So he's drinking milk now. So that's the present continuous. Let's see number 7. Number 7 now. You must to go there. You must to go there. So what is it? You must go there. Is it correct or is it wrong? What do you think? Correct or wrong? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, time's up. So here, this one is wrong. And the mistake is in here. There's no to. There's no to here. So it should be, you must go there. There's no to. Remember, this is a modal verb. So some verbs in English, they have no to after the verb, right? Verbs like these are should, must, will, can, for example, right? So I can go. We never say I can to go. So there's no to here, right? So just focus on this part here. When you have, I can actually type here for you. Let me open Microsoft Word. And I'll type it here for you. So these are called modal verbs, right? And modal verbs, they have no to after the verb. So for example, the verb can is a modal verb. The verb could is another modal verb. Let me increase the font size here so you can see better. Let me see, this one I think should be okay. So modal verb, let me highlight this. Modal verbs, right? So can, could, should is another modal verb. Must, can, could, should, must. Okay, these are the main ones. There are some others, but these are the main modal verbs. They have no to. For example, here in the case of can, we say I can swim, right? We never say I can to swim. There's no to here. It's just I can swim. The same thing for could. I could ride a bike when I was a kid, right? So I could write. It's not I could to write, okay? It's not I could to, no. There's no to here, just the verb right after the modal verb. Should. We should go now. There's no to here either, right? And must. We must stay, for example, right? Between these two verbs, there's no to. So just remember, modal verbs, there's no to between the verbs, right? So now let's get back to where we were here. In this one, let's continue here. So you must, so this is the mistake, right? There's no to here. It's not must to go. The correct way is must go, just must go. Now let's see the next one, number 8. I swam in a swimming pool last weekend. Yeah, will. Will is another modal verb too. I could include it there too. Will. here. If we go back here, must, will is another modal verb. Very good. Thank you for reminding me here. So I will go to the beach tomorrow. I will go to the beach tomorrow. So between will and go, you see there's no to here either, right? So this is also another case that we don't, in which we don't use to. Now, next one, I swam here. Right, I swam in a swimming pool last weekend. Is it correct or is it wrong? What do you think? I swam in a swimming pool last weekend. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Time's up. Right. Think about it. Here it says the time. It specifies the time, right? Here it says last weekend. So the verb here has to be in the simple past, right? I swam in a swimming pool last week. It could not be I swim, for example, swim in the present, because here it says it was in the past last weekend, right? So this one is it's correct, right? It's correct. So I swam, the verb in the past, and here it says when it was. So I swam, pronunciation here, swam, right? Swam. I swam in the swimming pool last weekend. So last weekend I was there in the swimming pool. I swam there. Now, number 9, he rides his horse last week. He rides, okay, so he rides his horse last week. Is it right or is it wrong? What do you think? He rides his horse. Am I writing it right? 5. Let's start the countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Right. So here it says last week. So we know it was in the past, right? But here it says rides. He rides in the present. So this is wrong. This is wrong. If the sentence was he rides his horse, period. Here, if the sentence ended here, that would be correct. But here it says it was last week. So the verb has to be in the past too. So it's not he rides. It should be he rode, right? So the correct way is he rode his horse last week, right? So you have here the verb to ride. We use ride for horse, for bike too, right? So I can also say I ride my bike, okay? I ride my horse or I ride my bike, but this is the verb in the present. In the past, we say rode, right? So I ride, you ride, he rides. Remember, for he, she, it, we add the s here. So he rides, she rides, it rides. And in the past, we say rode for everybody. I rode, you rode, he rode, and so on, right? So he rode his horse last week. Now, let's take a look at number 10. He has ever seen the beach. Think about it now. Is it right or is it wrong? He has ever seen the beach. He has ever seen wrong. He has very good. That's wrong. That's wrong. And where is the mistake then? What is the correct sentence? If this is wrong, then what is the correct way? He has ever seen the beach. Can you find the mistake? Where's the mistake here? The mistake is in this word, ever, right? So ever is a word we use for questions. Have you ever been to the beach? If this was a question, then that would be okay. Have you ever been to the beach? But it's not a question, right? So in this case, we say never, right? It's a negative sentence just to mention that that person has never seen, has never been to the beach, right? So he has never seen the beach, right? For the question, like I mentioned before here, let's take a look. Have you ever seen the beach? So then that would be correct. So this one we say ever, right? So ever. For questions, we can say ever. Have you ever seen the beach? That's correct. Okay. But when it's not a question, we say never, right? So he or I, for example, I have, so let me put in small letters here. I have never seen the beach. So I have never seen the beach, right? So now let's get back to the next one. So that was number 10. Now let's take a look at number 11. Number 11. They don't go to work yesterday. Now, they don't go to work yesterday. Is it correct or is it wrong? What do you think? Just think about it. It happened yesterday, okay? Yesterday. So it happened in the past. In the past. What do you think? Wrong. So that's wrong, right? That's wrong. Uh, because if it's in the past here, then here, this particle should also be in the past, right? So wrong. The correct way is they didn't go to work yesterday, right? So they didn't go to work, not they don't. They don't is in the present. They don't go to work today. They don't go to work now. But here it says yesterday. So yesterday, it's in the past. Then here I have to use the past too. They didn't go to work yesterday. Now let's see number 12. What does it say here? We didn't liked that place. Is it right or is it wrong? We didn't like to that place. Right or wrong? What do you think? So this one is wrong. That's wrong. Because the problem here is the two particles, two words in the past. We can't do that in English. Either one word is in the past or the other one is in the past. We can't put two words in the past in the same sentence, right? So here, the only word that goes into the past is the first one here, didn't, right? So we didn't like that place. And like here's in the present. Also, always remember this, right? If here it's in the past, then here has to be in the present, right? So didn't like, right? He didn't like that place. Now let's number 13. I go there last month. Come on. I think this one you're gonna get it right. I go there last month. Is it right or is it wrong? What do you think? Let's start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrong. That's it. Wrong. Right. So, and what is the correct way here then? What is the correct way? Can you tell me? You can type there in the chat. What should I change? What should I change here? The problem, okay, here it says it was last month, right? So it's something that happened in the past, last month. And the verb here is in the present. So that's the mistake, right? So what should I change? I should change this verb here. So this verb should be in the past. What's the past of go? What's the past of go? Remember? The past of go is went, right? So I went there last month. The past of go went, right? Was, it's, let's take a look here. So for the verb to be, for example, to be, right? So let's not get confused about this. To be here. For to be, we say was, right? So I was, he, she, and it also was, right? For you, it's were. You were here. So I was, you were. He was, she was, it was. We, you, and they. Here we say were, right? So were. So the past of the verb to be is was or were. Okay. In that case, we're talking about the past of the verb to go, right? So the verb to go. So the past of the verb to go is went. It's actually simpler, the past of the verb to go, because it's went for everybody. So you say I went, you went, he, she, it went, we, you, they went. You see, the past of the verb to go is very simple. because it's just went for everybody. It doesn't change anything, right? So to go went. Here in the sentence we had I go there last month. So the mistake here is because it was last month. So you should say I went. I went there, right? So the correct form is I went there last month. This is the correct form. Now, number 14. You should stay here. You should stay here. Is it correct or is it wrong? Remember, modal verb. This one is a modal verb. You should stay here. You should stay here. Is it correct or is it wrong? Any ideas? This one is correct. It's correct. Remember, it's a modal verb. You should stay. So there's no to here. Just should stay. So very good. Number 15. Nobody know the answer. How about this one? Nobody know the answer. Is it right or is it wrong? Correct. It may look correct, right? But it's not actually this one. Yes, that's it. Knows. Very good. Knows. Yeah, nobody knows the answer. Great, great. It's usually a bit confusing in the beginning, right? You might think, come on. Like, no, it's correct. But here, when you use the word nobody, we always add the s after the verb. So nobody knows, nobody shows, nobody clings. Let's take a look at some other examples. So that's about the use of nobody, right? So we say nobody. Nobody knows, nobody shows, nobody cleans, nobody drives. Okay? So remember this. Every time we're talking about nobody, the verb is in the third person here. So we always add the S here. So nobody knows, nobody shows, and so on. Right? Let's get back there now. Let's see the next one. She knows. Yes, also. I know, you know. But she knows, he knows. It's just think about that. Yeah. So nobody's just like he, she, or it, right? So think about it. Think about nobody as he, she, or it. So we added the s here. Nobody knows, just like she knows or he knows. Now, number 16. Even I had, this is a bit more complex, right? Focus on this one here. Even I had a lot of money, I will not buy the house. Is it correct or is it wrong? What do you think? Any ideas? Let's start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is wrong. This is wrong, right? The first thing that is wrong here, it's because there's the if is missing here, right? So the correct way would be even if I had a lot of money, even if I had. Okay, imagine the situation. This person doesn't have a lot of money, right? But even if he had a lot of money, he wouldn't buy the house, okay? He wouldn't buy the house. So not will buy, he wouldn't buy. So when you say if, it's a condition, right? So when you're talking about a condition like this one, then we use would or wouldn't if it's in the negative here. So if I had, I would, or I wouldn't, right? So if, would. So let's take a look at some other examples. We still have this should be the last one, actually. This is the last one. Let's take a look at another example here using if and would, right? For example, if I were you, right? If I were you, so think about it. I am not you, okay? But if, just if I were you, then I would travel to Japan. Just an example, right? If I were you, I would travel to Japan this winter, for example, right? If I were you, I would travel to Japan this winter, right? If I were you. Just another example using here. So remember, we use if just to say it's a condition, right? To show the situation. Then the verb is in the past. If I were you, the verb is in the past here, right? And here we say would travel. We keep the verb in the present, but we use would before the verb, right? If I were you, I would travel to Japan this winter, right? So in Portuguese, here it means se eu fosse você, eu viajaria ao Japão neste inverno. Se eu fosse você, eu viajaria. If I were you, I would travel to Japan this winter, right? So in here, let's take a look. So that was the last one. Now, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? No questions. So you have no questions, then thank you very much. And I'll see you again next class in our next live class. Thank you for participating. And if you have any questions after, like watching this, you can just leave them in the comments below, right? And you can participate even after the class, too. Just leave that. Look who's there. Yeah, Ayrton. Even if I would, great. Yeah, great, great, great. Okay. So thank you, guys. See you next time. Goodbye and good night.